What is up guys, Stu here. Almost feels weird because it's been so long since my last video. I think it's been over half a year or something, right? This feels strange. Just gonna act like nothing happened. Like, do you catch my latest video yesterday? Well, it was a good one. You didn't? It didn't happen, did it? Well, it didn't exist. That's right, I'm back, baby. I finally got the camera and a mic. We cooking. So yes, that's right, I'm back. But it's also really quite warm right now in London where I'm filming this, and I decided to wear a grey t-shirt, so it may end up being just the sweatiest armpits you've ever seen by the end of this video, but hey, we're all friends here, right? There's no judgment here, even if one of us did disappear for 6 months and not cool. So in the spirit of comebacks, it's time to reinvent myself with a new angle, with a new twist, with a new path that sees me going off and just, wow, didn't see that one coming, did we? Just kidding, it's exactly the same thing we were doing before. It's time to review some gosh darn films. Don't call it a come! And seeing as I missed a few months, there's been some big films you may or may not have seen that have popped up that I want to chat about. So we're going to do a couple of catch-up videos just to get us all back on the same page, if you will. Because I know there's probably a few of you that are wondering, hey, what did Stu think about that film that came out and that we all forgot about? So grab a drink. I had one. Not sure where it's gone. There we go. Lidl own brand squash. You just can't beat it, I tell you. Grab a drink, get cozy. Let's talk about some films. Enough rambling, Stu. Oh, also the window's open because it's hot. You might just hear screaming kids outside. It is outside. I promise it's not coming from my basement. There we go. Edgy joke number 1 is out the way. Let's just get on with things. First up, I saw that new Tarantino film, didn't I? It was called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Or do you leave a break? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And to probably no one's surprise, I really dug it. I thought it was a cracking little time at the movies. To preface this, as you probably already know, I'm a huge fan of Tarantino. He's done some of my favourite films ever. He's done some fucking incredible stuff. And then even his like lower tier films are still a step above half the other shit we get in a year. So already I'm going into this with some expectations, right? It's cracking. Love this one. I have to say, for a lot of this film, like the first half, I was like, okay, this is, I mean, it's clearly Tarantino, but it's not quite. Something's missing here that I'd expect to see in a Tarantino film. Not sure quite what it is. Then you get to the second half and the ending, and you're like, yep, here he is. He didn't go anywhere, did he? There's our Tarantino. Shit gets crazy. Won't spoil it. But the general gist of it is that it's set during the golden era of Hollywood. Charles Manson is a thing. He's got his family folks being a cult and doing all their cult shit. It's a time when Sharon Tate was murdered, which is a fucking... I mean, do some research on that murder. It's fucked up. It's horrible. But our lead protagonists here are an actor and a stuntman who just happen to live next door to Sharon Tate and Roman Polanski on the night of said occurrence. And I like the way that the true events and the actual things and the real people that happen to dot their way through this film are just sort of walking by occurrences. It's not the main gist of the storyline here. Leo DiCaprio, I don't need to tell you that he's an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor though, and he crushes it here. He's just clearly having so much fun with his role, and I dig that shit. But Brad Pitt definitely takes it in this one and gives some of my favourite fucking moments and lines of the year. If you've seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a scene towards the end of this film which is just pure Brad Pitt bliss. But everyone else is cracking as well. It's just one of those things where the performances are solid, the direction's solid from Tarantino, and you're just hanging out with these characters, and the characters are done so well. And when you've got characters that you enjoy watching as much as these, you're just sort of happy to see them do whatever they want to do for 2.5 hours. And it is 2.5 hours long. It's a long one, but it never felt that to me. It absolutely flew through. Has all the things you love and have grown to expect from a Tarantino film, but it's also weirdly, I feel like it's Tarantino at his most kind of human and sentimental. Like, he seems to not just be like, blah, 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 like a little kid running around a fucking toy shop all the time, which I'm not going to say is a bad thing. I've loved all of his previous films, but this certainly feels like he's I don't know, taking the time to really think things through and make sure he's doing something right, because there is definitely a world where this film just did it all wrong and shat all over Sharon Tate's legacy, which you just do not want to do here. Big fan. Very happy that Tarantino delivered again. Dude is unstoppable. Next up, let's talk about another film which I saw a few months back, but is still sat in my brain, clawing at me. That one's Midsommar. Hot Ari Aster, man, you need to just stop what you're doing, except don't, because I love it, but also stop. He's the same guy behind Hereditary, which if you remember from last year, I fucking dug the shit out of that one. And this one is, as of now, my favourite of 2019 as well. You just kind of have to watch it to see it for yourself. It is just fucked though. It's like, oh, a summer holiday if it was filled with drugs and death and murder and cults and awful things. If that sounds like your cup of tea, drink it up, baby, because it's so fucking good. If Hereditary made the sound shit terrifying, this one just made, I guess, just summer, just the season of summer terrifying. I love the way it's shot, all taking place within daytime. It's like a never-ending summer. And there's a really interesting article, actually, maybe I'll link it down below, about how they actually went about shooting this and the different lenses they needed to be able to get the look they wanted. It's very, very sunlight heavy, very glowing, nice, pretty stuff, which is actually just a bit of a facade for some fucking fucked up shit, alright? And again, it's a long film, but I never felt the runtime. The way that this film, and Ari Aster in particular, is able to just sort of lead you sort of through this fucked up, twisted fairy tale is just incredibly captivating. It all looks amazing. It's performed amazingly. Florence Pugh is a standout. She's the lead actress here. And she's so good. It's scary in a different way to Hereditary, and I think one of the things that will probably knock this one down for people is if you go into it just expecting it to be a terrifying horror film. It's not like scary. It's just incredibly unsettling. I loved it. I've only seen it once at this point. I'm meaning to get out and see it again, but I believe the director's cut is coming to London in a week, so I'm going to try and see that. Don't know how well that'll go, because I think it's only showing at one cinema. Whose genius idea was that? Huh? Stand up. Stand the fuck, you little shit. And now let's close out today's catch-up with a Disney one, because it wouldn't be a list in 2019 without a Disney one, because they're everywhere. They might be listening now. Disney did a live action again, and this one was of a classic, Lion King. They did it with real lions. Not real, in a computer still, but it's live action. It confuses me, right? It's The Lion King, brackets 2019, and it wasn't very good. To no one's surprise. Disney, man, I don't know what to say on this one. Just stop doing live action remakes. At this point, I think you've only had one remotely decent one, and that was Jungle Book. And that was the first of them, right? Everything since, you're just swinging and missing every time, man. I guess the thing which sort of makes this one slightly more acceptable than the other ones is that, I mean, the CGI in this thing is unbelievable. I'm not going to shit on anything to do with the visuals in this, because visually, it's pretty much an impeccable film. The lions look real as anything. But other than that, I don't think there's anything else I liked about this film. Oh, there is one thing, actually. There is one thing. I'll give it credit where it's due. Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen as Timon and Pumbaa was a stroke of genius. That is great casting, so I'm not going to sit here and bash everything. That being said, let's sit back and bash everything else about this film. I mean, it's just Lion King, the same story, but all of the character beats and all of the emotional beats and everything I ever felt about the original just isn't there. It's just like an experiment. Like, what would it be like to watch The Lion King and not cry or feel the need to cry at any point? Oh, it's this. Well, never doing that again. Seriously, the deaths in the film were just, okay, it's a lion, fell down a hill, wicked, let's just move on to the next scene. And that is just a strange thing to watch. I know the story, I know the characters, I know the beats of this film, I know how it's going to go, and I know that I should be feeling things here, but I'm just not. It just kind of is a bit lifeless, really. It would have been so much more interesting to see them put all of this resources and time into doing a live action something else that isn't this, because this didn't work. None of the songs are anywhere near as good as the original. In fact, every song has been ruined by something. There's something in every musical number in this film which makes me go, oh, why did you do that? You shouldn't have done that. Let's never, ever go back to this ever again. There's a goddamn fucking flat note in I Just Can't Wait to Be King. Can you feel the love tonight? Didn't happen at night. You just, how? So really what we have is a story and characters which we knew and loved, that has had all of the emotion taken out of it. All of the characters just feel like they're, I don't know, just fucking there. I'm not gonna ever forgive them for what they did to Rafiki. All the imagination and creativity that is so present in every frame of The Lion King isn't really here. It's just depressing. It's just depressing, really. Disney. They need to stop, but sadly, something tells me they're not going to. People, let me tell you about my... There's not really anything else to say. I know this hasn't really been the most constructive short review of The Lion King, but It is just shit. I had an awful time. Don't think I'm ever going to watch it again. I'll happily go back and watch the original. And just like that, that is the end of today's catch-up. I feel like that was quick. Can I just keep doing this for a couple of hours? Oh no, you want me to stop? Alright, fine. That's fine. 3 films, 2 of which I love. One of them, I didn't love them. But what did you think of all 3 I chatted about today? Let me know in the comments below. We'll have a little discussion. Haven't had one of those in a while. Dig your fingers into that bad boy. But let's actually do this. Any films that you've seen in the last 6 months that I didn't review because I haven't been here and you want to see my thoughts on, let me know and I'll do those in the next catch-up. Make sure you subscribe for any of those. I haven't gone anywhere. We're doing shit. So if you're just hovering your finger over that unsubscribe button, we're like, oh god, you better do a video in the next day or 2. I guess it's your lucky day. You don't have to click it. I'll see you guys soon for another one of whatever this was. Oh, it's good to be back. Stay beautiful, mother truckers. This is a spinning chair. It was a terrible idea, and I'm just gonna go with it.